Last weekend I was actually at a retreat, and it's such an interesting experience for me to go and actually be held, because that's not normally what I do. Normally I'm holding. And it was such a sweet experience. It was so interesting to me to go there and join with a group of people and kind of do what we do here, which is we come together here and we're able to bring ourselves into this present moment. And as I always say, it's our job to actually, I always say this, bring the energy that we want to bring into this moment, into this present moment of here now. And whatever it is that we decide that we want to create, we get to create here this morning. And so the same thing happened over the weekend in the retreat. And there was about 30 people at our retreat center, which was really interesting to be held in that space on my land. And, or I should say our land. Nothing is mine. I mean, do we really own land? I mean, think about it for just a second. So it was really sweet to be able to feel that and be supported and process. Because I don't think, honestly, that for me personally, I get an opportunity to really spend time to go within. And that's really, to me, that's where the magic happens. And I think that's the thing about unity that I love so much, and I've always loved about unity, is unity always talks about going within, going within, going within. All of our answers, everything that we're looking at, everything that we're wanting is from the space of going within. And that process, we always say, is going to look a little bit differently for each and every one of us. I think it would be super fun at some point in time to sit down and actually sit down with everybody in this room and say, okay, tell me your process, and tell me your process, and tell me your process, and tell me your process. Because here's the thing, you would find that while they're all a little bit different in terms of what they look like, in terms of how you do your own spiritual practices, in terms of the books that you're reading, in terms of the things that you're studying, in terms of everything else like that. But here would be the common theme, or the common thing that keeps us together, would be this idea or this thought of where are you going within that journey? And what I'm here to tell you is regardless of what the outside thing looks like, we are all going home. Do you get that? We are all going home. We all have this little homing device, I call it, that's tapping us on the shoulder. How many people's homing device lately is getting really loud? Yes, there's a reason for that, folks. Things are shifting on this planet. Things are happening right now at a rate that I've never seen happen like this before. How many people pay attention to the Schumann resonance? How many people? A handful? Yeah. That thing's been bouncing off the charts lately. And specifically in the month of July, there's been some really incredible things happening. So how many people around here are kind of lately going like, man, I'm just so tired? Okay, good, I'm not alone. Yeah, and it could look like being tired. It could be cranky. How many people have had some stuff that you thought you dealt with 30 years ago and now all of a sudden it's showing up again? How many? Yeah. Are you guys paying attention to how many hands are going up? How many people have thought, I really got my act together, and then all of a sudden, bam! What on God's green earth is going on? So just know that you're not alone. Know that this isn't a mistake. Know that you're not screwing up. You're not. It's just that what's happening is, at least this is Mike's understanding, is that as we continue to raise our consciousness, it's like a purification process that we're going through. And while, yes, we may have done this work 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and it felt like you were done and you were complete, it's just another layer, folks. It's just another layer. So don't take it personally. And I know that's easy to say. Trust me. I know it's easy. Yeah, but Mike. Yeah, I get it. But what if you could just think to yourself, there's this thing that's coming up. Thought I dealt with it, or thought I processed it, or thought it felt really, really good at one point in time, but now it's coming up again. What if I just became an observer? What if I just observed and just watched what it did? In other words, don't buy into the story it's trying to feed you. Don't buy into the trauma and the drama and everything else that was once associated with it. What if you could just look at it and just let it be? With the understanding that if I can just become the observer, if I can watch this thing just bubble up inside of me and not take it personally and just let it do what it needs to do, what'll happen is you'll go through the process way faster than getting hung up on, well, I'm doing this wrong, and I'm not meditating enough, and maybe I need to learn a different prayer, and what is this affirmative stuff that we're doing? And I don't know, Mike's saying all this. No. Breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Let whatever's going on, let it happen. You're not doing anything wrong. You're beautiful. You're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. But it's just things are shifting on the planet, and it's got to come up and go out. That's what's happening. And we're not just doing that on an individual basis, but we're also doing it on a collective basis. So when you start to see all the insanity that's going on the planet right now, can you do me a favor? Instead of going, well, this, just understand what you're doing is you're feeding it. Is that what you want to feed? Do you want to feed frustration, anger, hatred? Do you want to feed that? Or could you think about it for just a minute and think that, and remember, that you are this amazing light of God. You do have the ability to impact things not only individually but collectively. And that a collective standpoint, you can actually put energy towards that thing the way that you want it to be, not the way everybody else wants it to be. I was listening to this thing on YouTube this morning, and I thought it was so beautiful to have this idea or this concept of you can have a different reality. In other words, you can respond to this stuff differently than everybody else does. And if you truly remember who and what you are, and you remember the power that you have not only individually but collectively, and all of a sudden something comes up and you read it in the newspaper or you hear it from a friend or you hear whatever it is that you hear, then all of a sudden if you can just stop and instead of automatically do what you do, but just go, hey, whoa, 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 tap the brakes, slow down. What would I rather have being contributed to this space right now? Because whatever that decision is going to matter. It's going to matter. So you have a choice. Do you want to continue to feed it the way the rest of humanity is treating it? Or do you want to step up as a purely divine being that you are and go, I can send love to this thing. I can send compassion to this thing. It matters. It makes a difference. It really, 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 really does. The problem is that we have forgotten that it matters. We have forgotten who we are. We have forgotten the power that we hold. And when all of a sudden you can step into it and go, oh, wait a minute, I can make a difference. I can send love. I can do all the things. Then when this stuff shows up, all of a sudden, guess what? You become the North Star. You become the example. You become the way. Because of the way that you're being. So in other words, if I stay calm, and I stay peaceful, and I stay relaxed, and I stay loving, this is where we'll go. But we just need a lot more people to be doing it, right? And you can do it. You can do it. My hope and prayer is that you can remember that, even if it's just here for a little bit. Then how cool is that?